Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Silvio Soprani 48 bass restoration. And so far done a lot of the big jobs, so had a look at the bellows gasket, fitted replacement bellows pins, pallets have been done on a triple side, had a look at the bass side pallets, all the reeds have come out, cleaned, valved, waxed. So that's all good. The compression is good, and the accordion sounds pretty nice, but it does need to be tuned. So that's a nice step next, is to kind of get it singing a bit better. And so what I've got here on the bench is the treble side reeds, ready for tuning. And the first thing I'm going to do is tune the reeds, which are just a standard pitch of the accordion reeds. And to do that, I'm going to isolate the reeds, which are the tremolo reeds. So if I get my electrical tape, I've marked on the reed blocks which is which. So this line here, that's the A44, which is standard tuning. So these ones are the ones I need to blank off. So I'll do that. So just get some nice quality electrical tape, blank off the reeds that you don't want to be playing. Get a pair of scissors. Oopsie, where are we? Okay, so that's that one. Just check which ones I'm doing, and this one. So once I've got these blanked off, there we are. So that's the reeds that I don't want to play. And the electrical tape is good because it's not going to damage anything, it comes off easy, and it's very, very thin, so it's not going to cause a problem when you put it back into the accordion. So just double checking that was correct. Yep. So now I'm going to put these back in, and then when I play it, all I'm going to hear is that single M reed. So let me just do that and I'll show you when they're back in. Okay, here we are. So that's the reeds back in. So the tremolo reeds have been blanked off. So let's see what it sounds like. This is quite interesting, really. See what the M reeds sound like. Oopsie. Yeah, the compression's nice. Right, here we go. Then that sounds nice. I'm surprised. Which is encouraging. So yeah, definitely encouraged by that. So there's not a lot of tuning, there's not any kind of, well, so far I've been listening to all of them, but there doesn't seem to be any notes which are massively out, so that's good. Right, so the next thing is I need to set my tuner, so I'm going to use my phone app for this one. So I'm just going to get my tuner up. Just need to find it. And on this app, I'm going to go to the menu, set, oh, actually it has been set already, 444. So that's good. So now, with that set to 444, let's just bring that down a little bit and turn it around a little bit. So as I play each note, I'm going to make some tuning notes on my pad here, and for each note that I play, starting from G1 here all the way up to the top one, whichever that is, I'm going to make a note of each note, each push and pull on each one, how the tuning is, and I'm going to do it at kind of like a 1 to 6 grade. That's what I do. So if it's just a tiny little bit off, I give it a 1, and if it's really significant, I give it a 6. I kind of just grade how much off, how much flat and sharpened the note needs to be correct. So I do it kind of like a scale 1 to 6. So I'm going to go through the notes and compare the note I'm playing to the note on the tuner, make some tuning notes, and then take the reed block out of the accordion, make some changes to each note, put the reed block back in, and then play it. And then sometimes you've got to do that a couple of times just to really zone in on the tuning. So let's have a go. I'll just show you what I mean. Let's just pick a note somewhere in the middle. Let's just C. So on the pull, the C was perfect, absolutely spot on, but on the push, it was just a tiny bit sharp. So I'm going to give that a +1 sharp, and then that's on the push. But only very slightly. So that's it. So just make some little tuning notes, all the notes, white notes, black notes, and then I'm going to take the reed blocks out and do some tuning. So let me make my notes, and then I'll show you when I start to do the tuning. Okay, there we are. So that's my tuning. You obviously can't read it, but that's what it is. That's my the tuning notes for the treble side single M reeds. So now I'm going to get the reed blocks out, and I'll show you how I can tune these reeds. So give me a second while I get the reed blocks out. Okay, now what I've done is got the reed block, and it's on my tuning table, which is basically I've got a hole here, and then underneath here I've got some bellows which I can just move and push air through that hole. And then if I just put the first notes of G1, and I can find that first note, and my first note on the pull, it was just a little tiny bit sharp. So the pull, when I'm pulling the bellows on the accordion and playing it, as I'm pulling it, that air is rushing in and blowing into the reed block, and so the pull is the reed which is underneath that valve there. So it's the underside reed, if you like. Right, so what I need to do is flatten that first reed, that G1, just by a smidge, by a 1 on my grading scale. So this is how I do it. So I'm going to get a little thin pointer. I'm going to push the reed up, and then I'm going to just carefully fold back the valve, and then I've got a little scratcher. It's like a micro drill, this is, and I'm just going to do a little scratch about 3/4, but just past sort of between the rivet and halfway, about halfway between the rivet and halfway down the reed, that's when I make a little scratch, and by scratching it there I can lower the pitch of the reed. So I'm just going to, on that, there you go, carefully, oops, take out the pointer, then if I put that back on, and what I can see on my tuner is that the pitch of that pull, or the inside reed, has gone down a smidge, which is what I wanted to happen. Now when you put the reed block back into the accordion, it does change the pitch of the reed, so I'm not looking to tune the reeds to the A44 pitch on here with the mount of the accordion. All I'm doing is looking to either sharpen or flatten the reeds by how much I observed, and then I'll put the reed block back in, because they will always perform differently in the accordion. So I'm not tuning absolutely on here, I'm just tuning it for making some differences in pitch, which I've already looked at with the reed block in the accordion. So that's now done. Now the A1 was a smidge sharp on the push and the pull, so that's both reeds were a smidge sharp. So let's start with the inside one again. So I'm going to lift up the reed from the inside, carefully pull back the valve, and again between halfway in the rivet, just be careful not to bend the valve, and then just, there you go. And then the outside reed, which also needs to be worked on, I'm just going to go support that with a fine craft knife, so I can just have something to push against like that, and again halfway to the rivet, there we go. Oopsie. And now I'm going to test that one. And so that's the first two done. Now all of the ones I've got notes for actually is for sharpening, and it's flattening reeds. They're all a little tiny bit sharp. If I wanted to, so what I'm they're all a little bit sharp, so I'm going to flatten lots of reeds. If a reed was flat, I want to sharpen it, rather than scratching halfway between the rivet and the midpoint of the reed. What I'm going to do is just take a little bit of material off the tip of the reed, and so for doing that you can either again do some fine little scratches, or I prefer just to get a micro file, like a diamond tip micro file, whoopsie, like this, and then you can just very carefully file off the tip, but really careful, you don't take much off, and that will sharpen a reed. So that's my tuning. I have done other videos on tuning as well, so that's just a little whistle stop tour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through all of these reeds and do this first stage of tuning on the black and the white notes, and then I'll put the reed blocks back in, and once they're back in I'll play it again for you, and hopefully you can hear that it sounds nice. Okay, so give me an hour or two to just work through these, and then I'll show you the result. Show you the result in an hour or so. Okay. Right. So I've worked my way through. It takes a while, and you have to be careful. So there's no point doing too much. You've got to do a little bit at a time. So I've done all of that, and next step is to get the reed blocks back in, and then I'll play you the accordion after the first set of tunings on the M reed, and hopefully it will sound nice. It sounded quite nice already, but hopefully it'll sound maybe just a teensy bit nicer. So give me 2 seconds to put it all back together. Right, here we go. Hot off the press. So I haven't tried it yet. So let's see. Let's see what's happening with these single M reeds. So hopefully by doing this video, helps somebody, or helps you if you're watching, understand the order, the process of tuning an accordion which has got reeds. Let's just get the camera in the right place. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that'll be alright. So hopefully then this should, on the treble, I'm not going to play the bass side because it's not tuned. The treble side, fashion's really nice. Treble side should sound quite nice. So I couldn't resist putting a bit of bass in there. Yeah, great. Blimey. Oh, we've got a funny note there. What's that? Oh, I've got a funny B3. I'm going to have to look that up. There's my silent note there, so that needs just looking. A valve's got stuck. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check it on the tuner, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be pretty much good enough. I mean, it's going to be, it sounds like it's in tune on that M reed. So the next step, we'll check it though, is I'm going to undo the tremolo reeds by taking the tape off, and I'm going to play both standard reeds and tremolo reeds together. And this time I'm going to use my laptop to look at the tuner on there, which will pick up the tremolo between each note, and then I can tune it to the tremolo that I prefer. So next step is I'm going to take the reed blocks out, untape the reed blocks and get it set up with both reeds playing, and I'll get my laptop up as well and I'll show you how I assess the tuning with the reeds. Okay, so give me a few minutes to get everything set up. Okay, so this is the tremolo reeds untaped. Okay, so it sounds sweet, sounds nice, but you can hear the tremolo on certain notes. You can hear it's too much. Like that one there. Slightly jarring. That one there. That one there. So you can hear some jarring tremolo where it's just a bit too much. And so the next step is to measure that tremolo and work out what it is, and then work out how to get it into a degree of tremolo that sounds nice, or I think it sounds nice to my ear, because people have different preferences. For example, if you're playing some of this Scottish dance music on the accordions, they traditionally have a much wetter or more tremolo on the reeds, and so it's a bit more kind of sounds a bit harsher, but also it's quite good for cutting through the kind of the noise and the dancing and everything else, and it just sounds great for that. So people have different preferences, and different music has different kind of preferences as well. So let's get the laptop out and I'll show you how to start to measure the tremolo. Give me a second. Here we have the Dirk's instrument tuner on my laptop, and I've set it to, oh I haven't, I need to set it to A444. So if I go to menu, no I haven't got, I can do it, hang on, I can do it here, A4, there we are, A444, and with this tuner I can measure single notes or tremolo. So I've set it now to listen to two notes together, and I'm going to see how much tremolo I've got on my treble side notes. And my preferred tremolo that I like on treble side is, if I could just, I should just spin this round a tad. The preferred tremolo is 15 cents of difference at C, my first C, and 5, actually I'll get my straps tangled up, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, yeah. So 15 on my first, sorry I get really tangled up by these freaking straps. Here. Oh God. Ah! Right, sorry. Right, so on the first C that I come to, I'm looking for 15 cents of difference between the tremolo and the standard tuning, and then the second one will be something like 10, and then the third C is 5. So that's the sliding scale. So I have more tremolo at the bass end and less tremolo at the treble. So these lower notes need more tremolo to make them sound like these ones. It's just how it works. So I've set my Dirk's tuner all the way up to where it needs to be, and if I just spin that back round, here we go. Now if I now play a note, now you won't be able to see it on the tuner, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing. So I'm going to play a note, I'm just going to play a G somewhere in the middle of the keyboard here, and let's see what it says. So what I would want to have, if it's following my pattern, is 12 cents of difference. But at the moment on the pull, I've got 19, and on the push I've got 15. So that tells me that on the pull I need to reduce the tremolo, and on the push I need to reduce, but not quite as much, to bring it down to my desired 12. Now the way I do that is by taking out the reed block, and this time tuning the tremolo set of reeds to decrease the amount of tremolo. Now in this particular accordion it's a bit tricky because I'll turn it around so you can see me. There you go. the tremolo set of reeds are tuned lower than the standard pitch. So to create more tremolo, if you flatten the tremolo reed, the difference between that reed and the standard reed will be greater and will give you more tremolo. So to decrease the tremolo, you have to sharpen the tremolo reed to bring that tone closer to the standard reed. So normally what you find in accordions is that the standard reeds are tuned and the tremolo reeds are tuned higher. And so to increase the tremolo, you sharpen a tremolo reed, and to decrease the tremolo, you flatten it. But because this whole accordion is set reverse, and the tremolo reeds are set below the standard reeds, to increase the tremolo, I'd have to flatten the tremolo reed a little bit to make the difference bigger, and to decrease the tremolo, I'd have to sharpen the tremolo reed a bit to make the difference smaller. So it's kind of reverse. So you just got to get your head around that and not get muddled up, because otherwise you'll be tuning the tremolo reeds the wrong way. So for this instance, I'm going to have to keep double checking with myself what on earth I'm doing, otherwise I end up going a bit mad. So back to the tuning. Let's bring it back round. Here we go. Right. Got me bad. Pencil. So the G needed less tremolo on the pull and just a little bit less on the push. Let's do another one. So that D, I wanted to have 9, and I've got 22 on the pull and 23 on the push. So as you can see, some of these notes have got too much tremolo on them, so I'm going to have to decrease the tremolo. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through all of my notes, and I'm going to make a note of how much I need to change the tremolo by in cents, C-E-N-T-S, to get it to my desired pattern. And it might be that I need to increase tremolo or decrease tremolo. So I'm going to make some clear notes about what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to actually take the reed blocks out and change the tremolo. So let me do my notes, and then I'll take the reed blocks out and I'll show you how then I adjust the tremolo to match my pattern that I'd like to have on the accordion. Okay, so I'll get cracking on this and I'll see you in a sec. Phew, so that's the tuning notes done. It's quite a lot to do. So I've got all of those and all of them. So now I can get the treble side reeds out again. And now I'm going to work on the tremolo reeds. Let me get them out and I'll show you when I'm... Oh, right, so I've got my bellows table working again. So this is where you have to concentrate. Of all the things with accordion... Oh no, shush a minute. Of all the things with accordion fixing, this is the one that is the most tricky, I reckon. Getting the tremolo right, and my advice is to practice on something which hasn't got much value to start with, just to get a feel for it, because a lot of it is a feel, a lot of it is listening and just hearing that tremolo and identifying if it's right or not. So the computer will give you a good baseline, but also you have to listen to it and think, yeah, how does that sound, or do you need to change it a little bit more? So you have to trust your ears as well. So, but I'm going to start off by just going through my list. So I've got G1, the first G on my tremolo side. And on the pull, I wanted just 2 cents less. So the pull, I wanted 2 cents less, and so that means the pull is the inside reed. Now this is where I have to think. I need less tremolo, so I'm going to have to sharpen that reed just a smidge. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just put my and then I'm just going to use a file for this actually. I'm going to get a little file and I'm just going to pop it on like that, and I should be able to see a difference on my tuner. Oh, Wait! Oh, I knew it was going to happen. Should be able to see a difference on the tuner. And I have made a difference to that reed, so that should be okay. So now I'm going to just tick off as I go along. B1, so let's find B1. There we go. B1. On the pull I needed less 9, and on the push less 7. So the pull I needed less by 9. That's the inside one. So I'm going to sharpen that quite a bit, because 9 is quite a lot. So this comes with feel as well, you just get a feel for what it means, but it's just practice. And then just a tiny bit less on the outside reed. And then again, I'll put it back on the tuning table. And I can see how the tuning will have has changed a little, so I'm going to stop there for those ones. And that's it. I'm going to keep going through on all of these. I'm going to be sharpening the reeds to reduce the tremolo. So let me go through this first pass, and then I'll put the reed block back in and I'll play you the first stab at tuning the tremolo, but I'll probably have to do 2, maybe 3 passes just to get it exactly right. Okay, so see you in about an hour. Okay, finally, I've done my first pass on the tremolo tuning, so I'm going to put them back in and I'll play you the 2 reeds playing together, 2 sets of reeds playing together. I've got a feeling that I'm going to have to do at least 1 more pass and maybe 2 more, because some of them needed quite a lot of tuning, so I'm going to just try to not do too much and go back and check. So I'll put the reed blocks back in, put it all back together, and I'll show you what it sounds like. Okay, this is a bit the time. I quite like this bit because it should sound better. Probably won't sound completely better, but it should sound better. So let's have a go. I have no idea. Well, I think it will sound better. But let's see. Right. Oh, I hope it does sound better. Otherwise I'm in trouble. Okay, that sounds nice. So, not quite perfect, but sounds really nice. Hang on, let's just find a tune. I'll put some bass in, but it's not tuned. definitely getting there. So there's a few notes that need more work, which are anticipated. So I'm gonna run through these again, make a few more tuning notes. So again, and then take the reed box out, do the same process. So what I'll do that off camera, and I'll play it again when I'm happy with the tremolo on the treble side. Okay, so see you in about a few hours, I would guess. Right, so I'm pretty happy now with my treble side tremolo. Let's see if I can do this African farewell. There we go. So that's great. It's beginning to sing again, which is great. What I'll do the bass reeds in the next video. I will come back to the treble side because I always kind of do the tuning, treble, bass, and I kind of, as I'm working finishing off the accordion, I go back and check it again and just do some final little tweaks. But by and large, that's sounding nice. And I'll probably do some final little tweaks and twaddles as I'm working towards the end of the accordion, but for now I think that sounds really lovely. So the accordion is beginning to sing again, which is what it's all about. So thanks for watching, and sorry, you probably can't see my face, not like you really want to, but thanks for watching, and in the next video I'm going to tackle the bass tuning. Okay, see you soon.